Hello and welcome to Bell Curve Gaming. Today I'm bringing you a Magmortar deck as requested by Will Tidwell. Now I've actually spent some time playing around with this deck and I've come up with a list that I'm reasonably happy with that has omitted a particular card that I want to spend some time talking about my own card choices and the reason why I've decided to omit that card from the list. Now, first of all, this Magmortar, what does it actually do? Well, the attack that we're interested in on this stage 1 Pokemon for 3 energy cards is the Ground Burn. Does 80 base damage, but discards the top card of your deck and your opponent's deck, and does an extra 100 damage for each energy card discarded in this way. So you discard 1 that's 180, discard 2 that's 280, which is absolutely insane damage on a single prize card attacker. Now, obviously, we need to manipulate the top card of the deck, and we can do that with the Oranguru. So once during a turn, you may switch a card from your hand, top of your deck, switch an energy card there, and suddenly you're up and rolling. Now, if that attack seems very familiar to you, it should, because the Entei from the theme deck basically has a very similar attack. So it's on a basic, 3 energies, so same attack cost, same base damage, but just amplifies by an extra 60 instead. Now, we've got a 4 count of the Entei here because this is actually really useful because it's much easier to get up rather than a stage 1 Pokemon, and it's really useful in like single prize card matches or being able to even potentially attack with an eruption on turn 1 of the game if you're going second. So we've maxed out the counter there, and we've gone with a 2-2 line of the Magmortar because this guy is just our bigger hitter in matches, and we tend to, you know, if we're leaning on Magmortar, we tend not to need as many of them. So I found 2-2 was a nice balance. Now, this is a hugely energy hungry deck. I mean, you're constantly having to try and get 3 energy cards to you know, build up to be able to use this attack, plus you need an extra energy that you're discarding every single turn because it's discarding from the top of your deck. So I've actually found that we potentially need to get welders every single turn, especially if they're able to KO us every single turn. So Jirachis, they're here just to help us try and draw them. We've got Power Pads to put welders back. We've got Poker Gears to try and find those welders. We've got a max count of welder, obviously. We've also got Mewtwo here to be able to get a supporter card from your discard back to the top of your deck, which we can manipulate with cards like Oranguru, but also the Oricorio here to be able to put it back into our hand and then still use a welder. So this deck has really been built around consistency, because often I'm finding like we're in a massive race here and we have a huge amount of resources that we need to power up every single turn if they're able to KO us every single turn. So that's the reason why I've got so many options to try and get back welders or find welders from word go. We also, because we're an energy hungry deck, we need lots of ways to find energies initially and pull them out of our deck and then recover them from our discard. So we've got 3 giant hearths for that, and we've got a maximum count of fire crystal, which is super important here because if we did have to research a fire crystal or something away at some point, you know, being able to go and find that again is super important. Like, have enough copies of it to be able to get enough energies into the game is super important. Now, you might have noticed that we are not trying to manipulate the top card of our opponent's deck. And you know, when you think of this card, you instantly think of Clefable, because Clefable has an ability where when you evolve one of your Pokemon, like, you know, this guy, you may put an energy card for your opponent's active Pokemon on top of that deck, which seems like an absolute no-brainer when you're playing this deck. The thing that I found with Clefable was including it reduced the consistency of this deck. And yes, you had the potential, and I liked the theory behind it, being able to hit for 280 and, you know, being able to one-shot a tag team or something like that and know that you're getting that one shot. But in practice, I found it really clunky. I started with a 2-2 line of it. I even went to just having a detect with Ditto, which if you're going to try and include it, that's how I'd recommend to do it. Have a Ditto and a one of Clefable. But I found that I was rarely using it because you're trying to set up all the time, and how fast decks are, you're generally trying to find welders and your new line of Pokemon. So an Entei, your Magmar or Magmortars and things like that. And that Clefable just slowed down the consistency of the deck. So that's the reason why I've actually omitted the Clefable. If you want to include it, I would go with a one of Ditto and a one of Clefable, but obviously you're going to lose some of your Pokemon. So some of the other cards are here for consistency. Alright, so that's the deck list. That's the reason why Clefable's not here. Like, obviously, if you're not setting up quick enough and you're not attacking, you're not going to win. And that's the reason why I've gone consistency over teching in Clefable. Let's get into those matches. Alright. We're mulliganing again. Cincinu, Horror, and Twin. I feel like that could be Dragapult, baby. Does that take Horror and Twin? Or does that just take 2 NG attachments? I feel like that's Horror and Twin. Oh, Jirachi, I'm glad that you turned up in my hand. I don't know if I'm going first, second here. Like, even if we hit Welder, we've got nothing to put it onto right now. I mean, we could Jirachi pull first, see if we can find a quick ball. Alright. We could be in a bit of trouble. And so it's going to be a Wheezing deck with Giratina to back it up. Allows me to counter that stadium straight away. So here's the thing, right? Are we gambling? Like, what would Jirachi have to pull? Quick ball. And then Pokegear would have to pull... Nah. There is just no way that we do that. That's just a dumb play. So, we're just moneying this. Sadly. But what we will do is drop Pokegear onto the top here. I really don't like dropping Oricorio down. Am I putting Oricorio down the bottom of the deck, or am I dropping it right now? Putting it on the bottom of the deck. If this is Wheezing, this is a liability sitting on the bench for too long. So yeah, we're putting it on the bottom of the deck, that makes sense. Alright, we hit Welder, didn't need the Pokegear there. We've got a second Jirachi if we want it. We've got Great Ball. I think we're going to drop Great Ball. I like keeping that. We can Quick Ball for whatever we want. Yeah, we'll drop Great Ball here. Grab a couple of these. We'll Quick Ball. Go and get ourselves a Magmar to begin with. I think this is fine. And then we'll NG attach, Jirachi pull, just a scoop, and pass it over. We kind of want this stadium to stay. Maybe we should have taken Entei. Possibly. Definitely a Wheezing deck. Twin onto Mimikyu is interesting. Wow. Wow. Bricked. Okay. It's good for me. Great top deck. Are we keeping... Yeah, I think we are, aren't we? I think we keep the Pokegears so we've got more options to try and get more support, like supporters after this. So I think we're Wheezing now. I say Wheezing, Weldering now. A couple of these bad boys onto the Magmar. We don't have the KO at the minute. Definitely should have got Entei. Looking at this now, definitely should have got an Entei. Am I ousting my own stadium here? Well, I don't have a KO, and I need to get that KO ASAP. I think I am. I honestly think I am right now. Just a minute. We're doing this before or after the poker gear? I think we're doing it after. See if I can get something out of this deck. Well, we don't have the KO. That's a bit sad. We don't even have another Pokemon to drop at the minute. Wow. We'll drop the... If I get Marnied, maybe a research down. Oh, we got the Magmortar. We suddenly lose our research, but we got the Magmortar and we get the KO, so that's something. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah. Oh, avoiding that spell tag's really good. I'm also conscious of the fact of how many Pokemon I play down. And Magmortars might have been better if I had them sitting on the bench as well. That's something else against this Weezing, because the Weezing like puts damage counters on bench Pokemon that are basic. I think I am going to need to play this Entei though. Oh, he's still bricked. That's good for me. So how many fires are in the bin? Yeah, discard at the moment. So we'll just do this. A couple more fires. That's awesome. I do think I am playing the Entei down, sadly. Yeah. Let's Great Ball. We're definitely not grabbing that. We'll grab another Magmortar. Oh no, hang on. Why did I think of that? Oh, we'll just put Entei down. That's fine. That could be... Alright, well... Weld up. Into our Entei. These two. Then we'll fire Crystal back. These three. Just so we've got them here. You're fully powered now. We don't want to drop any more. What don't we want? Another Magmortar is pretty good. The switch could be good to keep. Maybe Scoop Up, to be honest. You know, now I'm looking at it. Scoop Up might not be the right fit for the deck now that I've gotten rid of... getting rid of a twin. That's beautiful. Now that I've gotten rid of the Clefable line. Because that's all Scoop Up was here for. And like the deck is definitely operating a lot more consistently now without the Clefable line. I'm still up in the air though. I like the idea behind having Clefable. But how often you're actually able to pull that off? Like, I played that many games with it already and just never been able to pull off the Clefable. Even when I was like heavily invested in it. Even when it was just teched in. And the big issue was like, you were constantly struggling to set up. I could see these being switches instead of scoops right now. I can see that. So if he confuses here, that's fine. We'll switch out. It's really good for us. This Heat Factory staying here is doing a lot of work. We've also gotten rid of 2 Twin Energies already, which is massive. So this is probably a Weezing, I dare say. A Weezing here is not the end of the world for me. Yeah, so you'll have the energy attachment, or she. Because it means that, like, if she doesn't drop anything else down, what is she attacking with next turn? That's the big question. And if she's not leaving me, possibly Giratina, but doesn't even have Inkay yet. And this looks like, given the energies that you've got. How's Malamar working on this? Triple acceleration. What does that attack actually do? Did you have damage counters on you? Oh, because the Tina. Ah, that's why Tina's here. Not to be an attacker. That makes sense. Yeah, so we're switching here. Are we? No, I think we keep that because he can confuse. There's no reason to switch out of this just the minute. So we'll just draw more. That seems fine. We could drop Magmar down. I honestly think this is as good a time as any to drop Magmar. Because if I can get that evolved in time, I think this is fine. How many energies do I have in here? 1 at the minute. Am I digging for that welder? I don't think so. I think we just wait. Honestly. Oh, we got it anyway. Oh, he could actually put that onto Magmar. I need to wait a turn. Oh well. It is what it is. At the end of the day, it might have actually avoided him taking out Jirachi there. And besides, this is probably a Mew turn anyway. So even if maybe I should have waited one more turn. There's a good chance. Since this Jirachi's starting to get in dangerous range, it might be smart for us here to switch and use the Jirachi while we've got it. I am just concerned about, you know, him confusing us. But if that's like his ultimate play, if that's all he's got, oh, he's ditching Baby Blound, so he's not getting that turn because we're on 3 now. That's huge for us. Yeah. So how much is that Wheezing hitting? 40 to the active, 20 to the bench, plus its abilities putting 1 damage on each basic. So it's only the basics. So just think about this. This is my last opportunity to use Jirachi, so we're going to switch here. 40 into an active. So we put Entei now. That seems fine. Need to get more fires out of the deck. We're going to recover these two. We've got a massive hand at the minute. We're in a heat factory. There's some more fires. Got a Magmortar down. We'll get this one charged as well. We've just got to be wary of deck out. We've got Marnie sitting here, so we should be able to avoid that alright. Alright, Stellar Wish now. Grab Fire Crystal, that's absolutely nuts. That's what we need. Alright. Anything else? Don't think so. So now we just load up. We don't need to load up with anything other than maybe a Quick Ball. So Quick Ball seems fine. Which Magmortar are we going to here? I think just... no, we go to Entei. Yeah, the Entei seems fine. Just a minute. And then... Eruption. I'm going to energy attach to you while I can. And then just Eruption. Just got to watch the deck out situation just a minute. Maybe I should have chucked this Magmortar out there. Because this gives him better, or her a better chance of getting multiple KOs. So she has the Jirachi. She doesn't have the Entei this turn, I don't think. This Magmortar is a long way away. So I just gotta look at that. There's one prize card she's gonna get. I think she's gonna get those 3 before we're done, said and done. So I need 2 attackers. So I think I need to put 1 more here. Gotta look at how I'm powering up the second attacker as well. I'm gonna have to money at some stage potentially. So the spell tag will take out this guy and this guy. So that's the 2 prizes. I've only got 1 NG. I don't need that stadium anymore. But I don't have the NGs in the deck, I don't think either. I think we boss around the spell tag this turn. Between turns, so that gets that, but doesn't get that, and I've still got 2 attackers. Yeah, so we boss around it this turn. We hit out Coughing. No, Cincinu. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Where's my boss? There. So we boss the Cincinu. We do need to drop a fire energy to the top of the deck to get it. We will power pad back. I think another boss and a welder for the moment. And oh no! That was a misplay. That was a misplay. I don't have another Rangaroo, do I? I potentially do. Shall I look for it? I've got to, because I just misplayed bad. Please be here. Thank you, Rangaroo. That means I'm going to have to oust my own stadium, which is fine. That's what we're going to do. This is what happens when you misplay. You've just got to do what you got to do. How many fires have we got in the discard? So, alright, so we need to put this to the top of our deck. And then Eruption. Luckily I could get out of that. Oh, do you know what I should have done in hindsight? I should have scooped up. Because that would have just protected that Entei. Ah, well. Ah, well. I mean, does it really matter here? Let's go this guy. It's going to money me. So the card that I really need is that Fire Crystal. Because I actually don't have any more fires in deck when I think about it. So that could be a bit of a challenge. Although, is there a baby I can pick off? Yeah, there's a baby coughing, so we're fine. So we're all good. So we'll just go and pick off the baby coughing. And we're done. There we go. Ground burnt. And done. There we go. A bit of a misplay, but we managed to sort ourselves out around that. So, GG's to my opponent. GG's. Alright. He is going to go first. Entei, we've got a welder on there. So we're hitting an eruption turn 1. Assuming there's no kind of disruption. What are we up against? Probably Pikarum, I'd say. Yeah, this looks like Pikarum. Grab a couple of cards. We'll drop Jirachi down. The Pikarum's up there. At this rate, we've got a turn 1 swing into this Pikarum, which is really nice. Alright, So we giant hearth. Then we're getting rid of poker gear here. Grab these 2 NGs. Weld it down to you. A couple of NGs. Resources here. Money's good for more draw. Welders are something that's absolutely needed. We've got to assume that we lose this Entei on this turn, which means are we trying to attack with an Entei next turn? Are we trying to maximize damage right now? What's the play here? I think we have to be prepared for a welder next turn, which means I need to bank on next turn, not this turn. Oranguru is really good because we put him under the pump. Like, we really put him under the pump. Mind you, I'm going to be under the pump as well. We have to do this. I think we're dropping Marnie, because we've got to have the welder play next turn. That's what it is. I think we're grabbing... I kind of want not Jirachi, Oranguru. Like, I so want this guy. Hitting 140 is not good enough. We have to hit 100 and... Like, if we don't hit 140 this turn, what is it? So we hit 80. That puts him to 160. No, we have to grab our Oranguru. That's just what we have to do here, sadly. That sucks. Primitive Wisdom, just go and get me a Entei or a Magma. That's the only thing we missed. I mean, it's a decent first turn, but... yeah. At least we hit the 140. This is very likely going to be a KO here, which puts me under huge pressure to be able to hit something off that Jirachi. Yeah, Thunder Mountain, straight out. We don't have Mew teched in, we've got Mewtwo instead. And we're pretty tight for space, so... full bits probably to the back line? Because he would have to be concerned that I could take this out, yeah. That's a good thing, but tag switch and we're in a lot of trouble. We're probably having to Oricorio here, just about. Oh, I couldn't hit something useful, could I? We've got to try and get the KO this turn, so this has to be a Stellar Wish into something. So Great Ball, Magma, no, Entei. It has to be the Entei play. Yeah. So we've got to grab that back. And then we are Fire Crystalling. Grabbing these NGs. We need a few things off this pole. We do need a few things off this pole. So we weld up to this guy, these two. We get everything bar away out of the active. Which is really bad because this is a tag switch and we're gone. We're pretty much out of the match on a tag switch here. We have to do this. I'm assuming we're probably weldering on this play again. Let's get rid of this. Grab a couple of NGs to thin that. What we're actually going to do is hedge our bets a bit. We've got the Oranguru pull. So what we're going to do is primitive, because you never know, this might get me a switch option. Nah. Hedge bets? Hedge bets. That's the best play right now, is hedge bets right now. So, tag switch from getting a double KO here, which is brutal. Mallow and Lana, hate to see it. Hate that card. Shouldn't exist. Clearly has a switch straight back. Or a scoop. And this is like smart to get as many NGs out as you can just here. Alright, so the fact that this is thinned of so many NGs is pretty unlikely that I hit. So what am I hitting with Magmortar here? $180, probably. And only 180. Nothing more. Yeah, he's setting up. So, I mean, if there's another NG in his deck, it'd be amazing. I doubt I'll see that. I really do doubt I'll see it. We're probably going to need to power pad stuff back in here. I think we welder first. Of course, now I get way out of the active on the Jirachi that I no longer have. How many fires are in here? 1. How many fire crystals have I used? 1. So I think fire crystal is important for next turn. We're losing 2 Pokemon here. We drop the escape board to get the fire energies we need. Well, just get fire energies in general in hand. NG attached to... We're going to lose 2 Pokemon here, so NG attach here. Oranguru, Primitive Wisdom. We can't drop Oricorio this turn because the GX attack's coming. So clearly has another switch out of this Jirachi. And another Malawalana. Are you kidding me? I said, like, this sort of matchup is where the Clefable is useful. It really is where the Clefable comes into play. So there's a lot that I have to hit here. And I think we've got to drop Oricorio. We've got no choice now at this point. We haven't seen boss. I mean, we're 2-shotting that. I don't see how we avoid anything here. We've got no disruption that we can play. There's no way we can one-shot this. This game, I'm pretty sure, is well and truly over. I really do think it is. Grab these 2. Welder onto Entei. It's the second turn not being able to attack again, which has really cost me here. Kinda don't have a choice. We just kinda gotta go with it. Magmar is probably my best hope of getting a one-shot. That's probably my best hope. I'm just trying to rack my brain for a way around this. I can't think of any way around it. We'll just Fire Fang. Let the burn do its job. And see, this is where Mew rather than Mewtwo would have been better. It would have bought me that extra turn. But, you know, we're not teched for Piggerom at the moment. We're teched for other things. Well, not teched for other things. We're not really teched. We're teched. We're trying to be as efficient as possible at the moment. And the Mewtwo is just allowing for better efficiency to be able to get welders when I need them, which is what this has to get, so I can't boss around. And this is going to have 2 straight KOs. There's nothing I can do around it. We're just outgunned. So the only, I think, looking at this kind of matchup, the only things, if you want to try and beat Piggerom, you have to go the Clefable route. I do think you do. Because you've got to be able to one-shot it. And I think I'd go the Clefable route rather than the Mew route with this particular deck. Because you've got to be more aggressive, I think. And this tech's too quick for you to mess around with Mews to protect the bench. So, yeah. So, what's my hope here? My hope is that he has lightning energies left in the deck. Does it have to be a basic energy? It's an energy card. I mean, there's a chance. We haven't seen two of his his speed energies. It'd be smart to attack here, yeah, with the Bolt Hunt. Yeah. So this is pretty much making sure that I can't. Unless... Oh no, he's leaving the Choo Choo. So believe it or not, if he has a Lightning Energy as his top card, we win. I just don't like my chances of that. So we've got a Mewtwo back our Welder. We've got to Oricorio that into hand. We've got a Fire Crystal. Grab these energies. We've got a Welder onto the Magmortar. And at this point in time, our sole hope, because there's an energy attachment away from this getting a KO. This has the KO on the GX. Like, my only chance here. There's nothing else I can do to improve my odds, is it? Like, it just has to be an energy card, and the chances of that being an energy card are that small. It's not funny. So, yeah. So, there's no point messing around. Is it an energy card? Come on, energy. No. Alright, GG's my opponent. GG's. So here's the thing, like, do we go back to the Clefable route? The problem is, like, this deck has so many pieces that it needs. I don't get what he's messing around with, to be honest. GG's, well played. But this deck has so many, like, things that it needs, that looking at my deck, the reason why I haven't got that in there, and I'm probably going to explain this in the intro, is, like, I haven't got the Clefable line in there anymore, is it just kept bricking. Like, this is much more consistent. You can attack and get the energy back onto the top of the deck playing it like this so much more consistently than playing with a Clefable. Even a 1-1 tech Clefable line, even a Ditto Clefable tech line, I've tried that. But the consistency of that, it just, for me, it's nearly not worth it. But having said that, if you want to increase the odds against Pikarom, I think you've got to include it. Either that, or as a bare minimum, include a Mew. But I like the Mewtwo instead, so I don't know. Alright, Yuri's Angel. Welcome. So, we need more fires in this, if we can. A top deck of a fire or a stadium is really nice here. Actually, if you don't play anything down... I mean, we obviously need another fire energy. And we need a way out of the Jirachi. But you need to top... Yeah. So you got something else. So we're going to be up against a lot of confusion. So those switches are going to be really vital for us. We're in a HP range that I would say that there's a good chance that we could go down on the way back a lot, which is bad. It's going to be interesting. So I've got 3 switches now. 1 scoop, 1 board. Gonna comms. So the thing about this deck is we're going to be hitting for weakness, which means that we only need to... Okay, prioritizing setup, that seems fair. We only need to really hit the 3 NGs each time. We don't need to hit an Oranguru with another NG down every single time. What did you comms for? I thought you comms to Metapod. Ah, Butterfree. Okay, to get that as a guarantee. We're Jirachiing first. I think we are. Yep, this is good. What are we giant hearthing here? I mean, a boss could be really good to pick something exactly what we want at some stage, so I don't feel like I want to get rid of the boss. Don't feel I want to get rid of a second welder from hand, because that could be my only way drawing out of it. Maybe I'll get rid of the boss for now. We've got ways to recover that, so... including this power pad that just happens to be sitting in the hand, so... we need a way out of the Jirachi still. So we've got all the fire NGs. Ah, beautiful. Beautiful. And we got the switch to get back out on the next turn. We don't have something to just set ourselves up. 40, yeah, we do have to eruption here, so we can't guarantee what our top deck is, so we're just gonna have to accept losing whatever we lose. So that's unfortunate. And Jirachi, that's not bad, it's not bad. We got rid of a supporter. I didn't quite catch what supporter that was that we got rid of. Sonya. Okay. So it puts pressure on him to set up now. And he's 1 NG attachment from confusing, but we've got the switch straight out, so that's beautiful. What we do need is now setting up something else to attack. So dropping Parasect. Getting another Caterpie down. Okay, so it's gone with a like sort of a split of the auto evolutions and the coin flip evolutions. Doesn't have the NG attachment and doesn't have the wow, that's massive. I think we just take the KO here, honestly. I don't think we're doing much else this turn. Yeah, let's just take the KO after I thin the deck a bit. Grab those two. I mean, I should push for setup, but he's bricked, and I feel like I don't want to push for setup. I feel like this is just fine. We'll just take the KO. Losing a Magmar is a bit sad. The reason why I don't want to get rid of the hand is this is a confusion-based deck, and if he does confuse me, having the switch sitting here right now is pretty powerful. And like, he's got the straight to Butterfree. He still has to get an NG. It's going to money me, no. So that's where you get punished for not setting up, but that was my reasoning. It was risky. I knew the risks. So this will confuse me. I know my switch is at the bottom of the deck, which is a bit sad. Great Ball will put it a little bit higher. Having said that, it's a coin flip at the moment about whether or not I win this turn. So we'll drop Entei down. We could Great Ball to shuffle the deck, which I think is pretty powerful. Or we just Giant Hearth this, shuffle it this way. See if we can thin something. Magmortar. Oh, switch was at the top. It's unfortunate. I wasn't to know that. There's no way I could have ever known that. So, on to the Entei. Maybe I should have actually... Yeah, because I'm a retreat as well. Yeah. Actually, I should have kept that energy when I look at it now. Retreat. Oh well. Didn't get punished for that. And hit a fire energy. Beautiful. Didn't even need a Rangaroo. And we take it pretty easily there. So... And it is time to give you my final thoughts on the deck. Now, if I'm completely honest with you, this deck ended up being even more NG hungry than I ever imagined it would be. Now, I knew it was going to be NG hungry because you've got, you know, potentially six attackers that you've got to get up and going, each requiring 3 NGs. I mean, that's so many NGs that you've got to get on board right through the game. So I knew going in that we're going to need lots of welders right through and being able to recycle those welders right through. Now, it turns out you can get this, you know, you can get 6 Pokemon up and attacking right through the match, but you really have to build towards being as consistent as possible, I feel at least, to be able to get the most success out of the deck. So that means that you had to make sacrifices to be able to make this work. And the big sacrifice, like I said that I made in the introduction, was not having this Clefable in here. So I really would like to be able to include the Clefable into the deck, because being able to manipulate the top card of your opponent's deck with a Clefable and guarantee like potential KOs over a tag team, you know, say that Piggeron matchup that was featured in this video, would be absolutely insane. But yeah, I just value the consistency over anything else. There is one more Pokemon though that I would consider including in here. I just had a tough time once again getting into this in the right times, but that's actually Victini Prism Star for 2 NGs to 20 times the number of basic fire NGs in your discard pile. Is we've got a lot of discard synergy that can hit potentially up to 200 for 2 energies rather than 3 NGs. Certainly one that you could look at teching in here as well, but otherwise I'm fairly happy with the list. So it's a fairly tight build in my opinion, just because I value consistency over anything else, and I had a lot more success with it when I did that. So overall, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10 for my enjoyment rating of the deck. Had a lot of fun being able to, you know, try and get these guys up and rolling, and building that consistency over time. But that's it for me. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will catch you in the next one.